Hi, welcome to Mrs. Patterson's Homework Help. We are in Math, Chapter 4, Lesson 2, and we're going to be rounding and then using those rounded answers to multiply with what we learned about the magic of zero. So, first of all, let's look at, let me go over which page it is. We have page 207 and 208. That we're using from the workbook. Okay, so we learned about rounding, so we know that. And we learned about how to multiply with zeros, so we know that. So we're going to combine the two things. First of all, we want to estimate 6 times 8,825. Well, that's a lot of work, and it's really nice to hear that they want to hear that we're going to be rounding it and finding an estimate. If we look at 8,825, we know that that 8, the rounding buddy here, can bump that 8 up to a 9. So this number rounds to 9,000. We should understand that, okay? So now we have 9,000 that we're going to multiply 6 by. Much easier to deal with. Now, remember, when we want to multiply with zeros, we take them out for a minute. 6 times 9 is 54. Then we put those zeros back in for our final answer, and it will give us 54,000. Now, this is the tricky part and the new part of this lesson. Did we round this number up or down? Well, we rounded it up. We gave more to this number. So, our estimate is actually going to be greater or bigger than if we actually multiplied it. If we actually multiplied it, we wouldn't get that high of a number because we bumped this up to 9,000. So you need to understand that. If we bumped it down, it would be less than the actual product. And let's find a case like that. Let's go down here to number 2. 246 times 8, okay? 246, if we round it to the last place value, 4 is not big enough to bump that up to a 3, so it rounds to 200. So now we're going to have 200 times 8. Well, 2 times 8 is, what, 16, right? And put the 2 zeros back in. Now, the question is, since we rounded 246 down to a lower number, it's actually less than what it would have been if we multiplied 246 times 8. And that's opposite of what we see for number 1. We rounded 756 up to 800 times 4, and that's 3,200. Because we made that number bigger, this number was less, it's greater than the actual number. So if you round up, it's going to be a greater than. If you round down, it's going to be less than. Okay, that's important to know. So in your estimating, say if you're having a party at your house, and you know that you've got, let's say, 18 guests coming, and you want to make sure you have enough chairs, is it a good idea to round this to 20? So you have a couple of extra chairs, or round this down to like 15 or 10. No, that would be bad. Then you'd have somebody who doesn't have a seat. So sometimes we want to round up, sometimes we want to round down, depending on the circumstances. Let's look at the back. Still some more things that you're going to round and then decide whether or not it's greater than or less than the actual. Okay, then we have 3 problems, word problems, and a test practice. Okay, so the bonus today is round, then multiply. Look, we already have a 0 in here, but we still need to round this. What would we round that to and then multiply it by 3?